I'm Kathy from Vintage Paint and More. I write a blog about creating crafts, DIY, and decor, and I also am an independent designer for Couture. This group is the Couture site that I show all the tips, tricks, techniques, and projects that I make while doing them. I want to share today how to use Couture's transfers and chalks for the beginner. And since all of us are new to this, I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to do a little project with you. So I'm going to get this ready, and there, I think you can probably see it pretty good right there. Okay, first of all, our transfers come in a package like this, and they're usually in one sheet. I've already cut this one apart. It would have looked like this. And there's little lines that you can cut along to cut them apart to get what you want. The one we're going to do today is called Be Beautiful. And it's a cute little saying that I like, that I think is good for all of us. On the back, if you can't remember all the steps, on the back of each sheet they have listed all the steps to do using the transfer so that you don't make any mistakes. So first of all, let me start with the fuzzing part. These transfers come on a backing, and the first thing you want to do is mark the back so that you know which side is the back of the transfer. This one I have used several times, so it doesn't really need to be fuzzed, but I'm going to do it just to show you how. First you want to peel the transfer from the corner just to get it started, and then go to the center of it and pull it from side to side or back to back so that you don't get stretching action in there and actually get it out of shape. I don't know if you can see that or not, but see the little squares in the white parts here? That's really a screen print, and that's what these are. Instead of the regular transfers you find in stores everywhere, these are little screen prints. You just put it on a towel, rub it real good, which I don't want to do because I've already done this several times, and then pull it back up, and it's fuzz. When they come, they're really, really sticky, and they will stick to your project surfaces, and they're kind of hard to get off at times, so you want to fuzz it first. The next thing you want to do is center it. And I'm an eyeballer. I don't measure anything. I've always been that way, and I can't make an old horse do new tricks, that's for sure. So smooth it on and go around your letters really well so that you make sure they're sealed. If you don't, you can get some running or leakage under the blue, and it will make it look not so nice. So I do this on each letter. Just make sure it's rubbed real good. And since this is a two-part transfer, we're going to do the next one also right now, because it would be easier. Since we're only using one color of chalk today, I don't want to go into too many techniques today. We're just going to start with the beginner's way to do it. And get your unique on there. Be unique. I probably could have had the U up there. In fact, you can, just for time's sake, I'm not going to move it. But you can, if you have to, if you've got it off, you can reposition it. And again, we're going to make sure it's on there real good. Now, if you feel like you're not a really good chalker and you're kind of afraid you're going to get some on your board, that doesn't really matter because it washes right off. But you can do a little trick here where you put masking tape or painter's tape or whatever on your project and extend the area that you've got to work with. That way, if you do run over, it won't hurt anything. Okay, put one at the top, and you're all set to get started now. There we go. All right, now we're going to get to the paste. This is the Chalkology paste. Comes in, this is actually a 2-ounce jar, which some of our pastes are still coming into 2-ounce jars, but they're switching them over to 3 ounces now. This is the white paste, and it is now strictly 3-ounce jars, which will be great because more chalk to play with, right? Okay, it has a little plastic lid on top of it that you just take off and set aside. In fact, we can move this towel now. I don't even need it. And the first thing you want to do when you use it for the first time in the morning is to, or whenever you're crafting, is to stir it up real good. Can you see that? It's kind of like the consistency of yogurt. Or put our icing, canned icing that you get in the stores. All right. Then you want to get a squeegee. Now this is one squeegee that I took. It's called the long squeegee. And I just cut it in half and then cut it in half again so that I would have different sizes for different types of transfers that I had in areas to chalk. This is the angled squeegee. It has different sizes on it. It's really easier to control. We're out of these right now, but they're supposed to be back in stock in just a couple of weeks. So I'm going to use the one that we have in stock right now. Now the next thing you want to do is just get a little bit of chalk and put it on your board. And this is so easy. You just take your squeegee, run it across your letters. I like to go across, real good. Make sure they're all filled in. And I'll go back and forth across it and then up and down. This is to make sure that all the little squares in the screen print get filled in. Now the beauty of this product is there's absolutely no waste. What's left on your squeegee, you just put back into your bottle, your jar. Okay? I think that probably has that area really good. Now they go down here and do the little part. See how simple it is? Very simple project. Just put it on, put it across, and the next thing is, get the chalk off my fingers that I got on there. We're going to pull it up. And you can start it with a corner, but remember, you want to start in the center, pull from top to bottom, side to side, so you don't stretch your transfer. All right, these. When you get done, you want to get this chalk off of the transfer immediately, because if it dries on, it'll ruin your screen. So what I do is I just put it upside down in a little pan of water that I keep at my place where I'm working, and that keeps the chalk moist so that it won't dry on there while I'm finishing up. Take these off, and there you have it. Isn't that just too cute? Be unique. So simple. When you get done, you have a perfect little sign that you can set up anywhere. This happens to be a little easel that I found at Target, I think a couple of years ago, and I use these over and over and over again because they're so much fun and they're just the right size. Okay, now for cleanup. Now, one thing I forgot to tell you is that if you get into your chalk and it seems to be a little drier, all you have to do is just spritz it with a little water, stir it up, and it'll be moist again. It'll get it to the consistency that you want it. Cleanup you do with Clorox wipes or with a disinfectant wipe. It doesn't matter what brand you use. And it looks like I'm going to have a hard time getting these out of here today. There we go. Only need one. But it's very simple to do. All you do is clean the chalk off of your project pieces. They're ready to use again. There's very little waste to this product, which a lot of times in crafts you'll find that you wind up wasting quite a little bit of stuff. Make sure your lid is on tight on your chalk so that it doesn't dry out. Take your squeegee, clean it off. Well, and then clean up your area. Okay, now let's show you what to do with the transfer. Make sure your area is moist. You can either just wipe it down with a disinfectant or put a little bit of water on it. And then just use your transfer, take your transfer. I should move this closer for you. And just while it's in water, kind of get all this chalk off that you can get off. Then you can lay it on your tabletop or your work area. This is just a cutting mat that I turned upside down. Nice and smooth, easy to work on. Clean them real good on the front. Turn them over. Clean them on the back. Now, using the Clorox disinfectant wipes actually helps this stickiness to rejuvenate a bit. All right, then I'm just going to place it on my towel upside down and let it dry. When it's completely dry, we'll put it back on the backings. Remember, we marked them so that we knew which is the back, the shiny side is the front. And you just, actually the easiest way to do this, and I won't be able to do it because it's wet right now, is to just put the backing onto the transfer itself, instead of trying to put the transfer onto the backing, because they'll curl and roll. Now, should one of your transfers accidentally stick to itself while you're working with it, put it under cold running water, and you can work it apart and keep working with it, and it should be able to be salvageable. These transfers are amazing because you can use them over and over and over again, and as long as you take care of them, you've got a long life on them. You can probably get 12 or so uses out of each one of them. I think that's all I have to say about the transfers and the chalk today. But don't forget, check out my blog, vintagepaintandmore.com, or you can check out my Facebook page, vintagepaintandmore.com. I also have a shop on my Facebook page, and I also have a shop that's independent, and that's vintagepaintandmore.chalkcouture.com, where you can order your own transfers, chalks, inks, and wood squeegees. Also, if you want to hear more or see more, or just learn about the Chalk Couture products a little bit more, please check out my Facebook page, Chalking with Kathy. Thank you. Have a nice day.